6 o'clock. Are you ready, Lynn? With that, call the meeting to order. We'll begin with the pledge of allegiance. If you please rise and join me.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you very much. And welcome, everyone. Glad you could all be here tonight. Roll has been taken?
Yes.
Okay. First up, I would like to make one addition to our agenda for this evening, if I could, under probably appointments. I have an item I'd like to make some appointments for one committee, subcommittee of this group. So with that, I entertain a motion to accept the amended agenda. Motion support. Any comments or questions? Hearing none. All those in favor? Opposed, same sign. Okay, we have an agenda. Next up, entertain a motion for the approval of the minutes of the January 22nd, 2019 regular meeting and the January 23rd, 2019 goal-setting session minutes.
Second.
We have a motion support. Are there any additions or corrections? Comments? Hearing none. Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. That motion is carried. Moving down to recommendation on bids. Receipt of bids for the annual chemical procurement for the wastewater treatment plant. The following bids were received on February 4, 2019. And rather than read them all, we had two. One for ferric chloride that 26 dry tons. It's going to PVS Technologies, or recommended to PVS Technologies of Detroit. And then the other winner for chlorine of 16 tons is JCI Jones Chemicals of Riverview, Michigan, at $6.50 a ton for $10,400. Are the two recommended winners. We basically only had one other bid on one of the projects, so.
What does bid bond mean? I mean, I understand what no bid, and I can kind of guess on check, but what is bid bond?
Well, you want to cover it? Yeah, bond is typically if they don't, it's like a performance bond, I believe, is that what
No,
this is?
this is to cover the cost. Generally, a bid bond is anywhere from 3 to 5% of what they're stating they're going to bid at. So if we, let's say we said give it to one of these people here, and then all of a sudden, a week to a month later, they say, no, we're backing out, then we can collect on that bid
Oh,
bond.
okay, good, thank you.
Do we have a motion?
No,
No.
Oh,
I'll
okay.
make it.
Okay, we do have a motion. We have support. Motion support. Are there any additional comments or questions?
Is there less available now? It seemed like we used to get more bids than that.
Well, because we used to have water in here too, so it was
Chemicals for
water
water.
and wastewater, but water is now part of GAWA, Gratiot Area Water Authority, so we don't have to, it was always, this is the only amount of chemicals that wastewater uses. Yeah, but yeah, water has a lot of chemicals.
Not sure if that's a good sign or not.
There's a lot of, they have to have caps.
Their processes
They don't
are
use
different,
them.
so, yes, okay.
And you'll learn about those when you come.
I was saying, when you come out, I was like,
Yeah.
Thank you for the heads up. Are there any additional comments or questions? Hearing none, those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion is carried. Moving on to resolutions. We have one, consideration of adoption of a resolution to allow local residents to protest in writing, and that the City of Alma Board of Review shall receive letters of protest regarding assessments from resident taxpayers from the first Tuesday in March until it adjourns from public hearings. Motion? You got a motion?
Support.
Any support? You want to give us any color on that? This is just, we've done it before, right? This is
Yeah,
something
yeah, we
new.
do it.
This is, so they don't have to appear in person, so if they're out of state, they can just submit a written appeal.
Okay, fair enough. Any comments or questions? Hearing none, those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. That motion is carried. Move down to ordinances. First up, we have consideration of the introduction of ordinance number 806 to amend the zoning map of the City of Alma as it appears in section 32-32 of the ordinances of the City of Alma. The ordinance is to rezone the property at 601 Woodworth and 119 Hastings from R1 single family residential to OS office services zoning district. subject to the conditions set forth in the conditional rezoning agreement. So,
You're just receiving it now, right?
we're just receiving it at this point, yes, we're introducing it, I guess, as reading. So, proceed with that. We had a motion to support, are there any additional comments or questions? So this will not be moved on for 2 more meetings, right?
Correct.
So, first March meeting.
Now, will there be another hearing so the people could come in?
Not necessarily, but those people will,
They'll get a
they're
chance to
certainly
go out.
welcome to come in and make comments if they need to.
Yeah.
at any-
Yeah,
at any of the meeting.
Before we
And this is proposed by the owner of the property.
This is not proposed by the owner, and it's one of these conditionals like we did
Right.
before, that, so the conditions be specified and pulled away. Okay, so, we had a motion to support, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. That is introduced. Number 2 is consideration of approving ordinance number 807 to amend chapter 46 of solid waste as it appears in the ordinances of the City of Alma. Ordinance number 807 will replace chapter 46 of the Code of Ordinances with updates and needed revisions. We have a motion to support. Add some color to this.
Just in looking over some things with solid waste, there were, I think we discussed this when we first brought it out here, there were a lot of things that needed to be updated, changed. The rates were in there in the ordinance that not really didn't pertain to where we're at anymore, putting some definition into how much, different things like that. So it was just probably one that hadn't been looked at in a long time, and Alan was doing some other work actually in the solid waste and took a look at it, and so that was just updated. Current.
Anybody else? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. That motion is carried. Next, we moved on to reports. The city commissioners may receive the following reports by one resolution, or any commissioner may remove any item within the section for individual discussion and votes. We have 3 different reports tonight with us. The Alma Transit Center, January 2019 report, Alma Police Department, January 2019 report, and the Alma Building Permit report for January 19. Your pleasure.
Motion to receive.
Motion to support. Anybody care to pull any items for individual discussion or vote? Any comments or questions on the items? Hearing none, those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. The motion is carried. We'll move to appointments. First up is consideration of appointment of Mr. Jim Wheeler to the Gratiot Area Water Authority Board for a term of 2 years. A term of 2 years, yes. Ending
A lot of fun on
January.
that board.
Perhaps not. Ending January 11th of 2021.
Move
Support.
Motion support. Does Jim know about this?
He does. I asked him for a recommendation, and then he
And then you get his
said,
business card.
and I really didn't ask him for a recommendation, anticipating that he would say that was him, and he said, no, he would be more than welcome to do that. So
Terrific.
That's a good addition for us.
Certainly appreciate that. I believe we had a motion to support. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. We'll consider him to be appointed. The second was a new item, new appointments. I would like to establish a committee, a finance committee, and appoint Roxanne, Nick, and myself to look at our financial processes and procedures. With some of the changes we've got going on, I think it's time that we take a little bit of a peek under the hood here and see what we can help Matt out with that finance team, so. I don't know if we need a vote on that, I think that's just an appointment, right? So,
So we'll make a motion.
Okay.
To appoint.
okay. So, anybody like to make a motion to appoint as,
I'll make the motion.
Support.
motion support? Any comments or questions? Hearing none, those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign? Motion is carried. Okay, new business, we have business appropriations for 1915? That's it.
That's old.
Yeah.
No, that's the number.
That's the number.
Year 19, it's the 15th one of fiscal
15th
year
one of
19.
fiscal year 19, okay.
It's causing trouble over there.
I had coffee before.
Move to pay the appropriation.
So we have a motion support. Any questions on the list? I believe you
Is
have-
this list, just curious with all the seeing these in a different form, is this easier, is it, I mean, as I look through it, it's a lot easier than it used to be, I think, just to see everything in front of you, there's no issues with that, correct?
No, seems pretty straightforward, so.
knowing now some of the amounts are different because we made some changes in procurements. So, okay. I'm trying to slide anything in.
We hope not. All right, all those in favor? Opposed, same sign. Motion is carried. Hey, commissioner comments. Oh,
Yeah, I
you
can
want to
do
do your
this.
thing? Okay.
Yeah, you should wait for me here to do. Actually, I have two things in our that I'd like to do in recognition of our employees. We talked briefly about some of the stuff at the during the work session earlier tonight, but I think that I'm really glad to see some folks show up. That's good because as you know, we have been in the middle of a well, I guess they call it a vortex, a polar vortex that we've had to go through. And I didn't anticipate asking some folks to come here tonight because we're actually still working on the same thing that we're going to talk about. There had to be kudos to the staff and specifically to everybody who got involved in having to clear the streets, plow the snow. I see a lot of you guys from the water department here tonight deal with breaks, a water main break, in the conditions that you had to endure over the last couple of weeks. And so what I really like to do is just have you guys stand up, if I could, and make sure that you're acknowledged to the group here and to the public for the job that we do. One of the things I really hammered on in the goal setting session was about the man in the arena. These are the people right here. So thank you guys. Yeah, everybody, this is an acknowledgement, recognition.
Jim Frisbee, water.
On Albrecht streets, all my guys are either
Sarah?
sleeping
Come back out there.
I'm Bill Pillmar, fire department.
And Gallo.
Dave's not standing, but he was out on one of the breaks with us. He was pointing and helping us. Doug Sierakowski, water.
I'll tell you what, most of us wouldn't even go out on those days, and you guys are out there working in it, so it's pretty amazing.
Yeah,
Sure, we are grateful.
One thing I want to make mention of that these guys, guys and girls in public works don't get acknowledged for is that they do work, and everybody takes pride in the fact that you don't see them. It's what they do, and they don't usually take kudos for it, but I became aware of several other entities that weren't even working in those 2 days. I won't mention them on camera, but to where the conditions were too cold, they stayed in garages or shops and didn't come out. So on a day where it's just as easy for us to turn the water valve off and in this condition, let Loose Road go a day or two without water, we didn't. They're out there when it's -20, and not any one of them complained. Nobody fights, nobody bickers. It's just, that's what they do. It's part of what they do. But I wanted to make a mention that most other crews were not out in those days, so, and they were.
Pretty phenomenal.
I gotta tell you too, just, cause I live on Loose Road, and that morning I got up and, oh my God, there's no, water, feeling really sorry for myself. And then I come out and I see these guys working, and it's, I should have got out of my car, let you slap me around. I'm thinking.
Do it now.
That's part of the reception after the meeting.
Honest to God, I can't tell you how much we appreciate it. That was a testament to dedication and hard work. Why that was awful that day. And these guys are out there and getting that job done like that for some wimp like me that just wanted to take a shower. So thank you.
There was a, I don't know if I'm out of line here. There was a resident stopped by, and they had a whole tray of these hot chocolates from McDonald's. That felt good. That was good. I like that.
We're not for very long.
No, they weren't, but it sure felt good.
Well, and I've said this to you guys and I put it in the thing, but and this is really your last chance if anybody wants to give me any sympathy. I wasn't here during that whole ordeal with the cold and everything. I was in Florida, and it didn't get very warm in Florida when I was there. Now, I will tell you, it wasn't obviously as cold as it was for you folks, but it was, and I think, I'll be honest, the water main break, I don't know if anybody's told you, was probably my fault. I had actually talked to Ellen, and then I talked to Eric from Florida, and that was my question. You telling me we're getting through this without any breaks? And they were both like, yeah. And then I got a text, and it wasn't maybe 5 minutes later I got a text. Thank you very much for that, because here we are out on loose roads. So, but I will tell you too, I've heard it from other members of the community who have said they were absolutely shocked that we were out there and what you guys did that day and everything that you put in. So thank you very, very much for that. And I think we need to make sure that we recognize everybody for those things. And along those lines of recognition, I think we all know that our process with these gold coins now, and unfortunately for all you guys out there freezing your behinds off, I can't give you all. But you got your thank you, and we'll do that. We'll get something from there.
You get the slap to when you're
We had what we talked about earlier tonight was what we've gone through in the utility billing and how we've been able to pull that thing together. And realistically, there was an awful lot of people, as Jeff said, there was a lot of people involved in getting that process going. But you always have to say who spearheaded it and where did it get started and how has it worked. So, Sir Tompkins, would you please come up here?
If I knew about this, I'd have told you to bring your wide lens.
Thank you. What I'd like to see is that as we start to take hold of some of the stuff that we're doing, we look into this new year, and I've really made this thing about we're going to get our processes in order, we're going to get our act together when it comes to processes. It's nice to know that we've got a lot of people who work here now that you can say, we need to fix this. Your job is to fix this, and so go fix it. And we got no problem with that. Bob, you made a decision the other night to keep people, we talked about in the work session, you didn't hear us. You made a decision to keep guys over the other night because we had a little warm spell where we could clear the roads. And I think we need to get people to understand that these decisions are being made by people who work here because that's what we do every day. We're the experts. We understand it. Sitting in your warm living room is a really easy way to judge what we do. Trust me, I know that these people do it, and they make the right decisions every day, so I'm really proud of you. Thank you. There.
That's all?
That's it.
All right, now commissioner comments. Audra, would you like to start us off?
Just thank you. Thank you for keeping the roads clean and keeping the water going. We really do appreciate that, so thank you.
Michelle.
Again, I just want to thank this staff. We always hear, well, the city plows were out. The city plows were out, and we know that they're out working many, many hours and doing the best that they can, and so we appreciate that. And again, to the whole city staff, I've heard about it quite a bit out in the community, that all the positive energy that is in this building now is being seen quite highly out in the public. Going from this office to the DPW to the water plants, everybody's seeing the great change and the great attitude, so appreciate it. You're up, Nick.
I am. No, I can't, but thank you very much. And seeing you out there really makes me we're glad to see you. Appreciate the work.
Roxanne?
Thank you. Appreciate all the work. Also, a thank you to the unknown man who pushed me out from the college where I was stuck before the meeting. I was just revving, and he just came out of nowhere and pushed me out. So whoever you are, I really appreciate it, and that's why I'm here.
He's the guy buried in the snowbank.
No, I honked, waved as I got out.
Find him in the spring. Larry?
Well, I'd be amiss if I didn't give Mark a chance to talk about the firemen and how they're working this cold weather.
Yeah.
Chipping off your coat and having it stand up by itself, they're to be commended also.
Thank you.
And the crew that did the streets, it wasn't just plowing the streets, but as a downtown business person, the streets were cleaned off. The customer could pull up and walk to the stores because you got the snow out of the way. And that hasn't been done in the past as quickly as you guys did. So I really appreciate that. Thank you.
I'll reiterate everybody's thanks to everybody in this city for the 493rd time so far this year. I'm proud to be part of the city of Alma.
Yeah, same here. It's a city too. Yeah, thanks to everybody, man. It's really, really impressive, and we do appreciate it from the work of our living room. It is, it really is. You really ought to be commended, and it is a great opportunity to appreciate all you guys do. And Jeff, I mean, that was unbelievable. And it's just something to, your humility and everything else too. This is really something to behold. And Alan, man, I'll tell you right now, you think he was swearing at you before. You are really gonna be missed. I really appreciate the opportunity to have worked with you, and you did a lot for this city. So, thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Alan.
The only last thing I'm gonna say is, the only complaint I get about snow removal, and it's amazing to me, and I'll look right at the camera and say this, because people need to understand this. The snow plows cannot stop in every driveway so that they don't throw the snow into your driveway. That's just how it works. They can't stop and do that. They're clearing the street, so you're gonna have to go out and shovel the end of your
I didn't
driveway.
want to say anything.
I know, but that's the only thing I always hear. How come they have to throw it in my driveway? I don't know where else it could go.
I like
And
that.
so
I
they do
have a
that.
45 to 90 degree angle at the end of my driveway, so I like the snow pushed up there.
And the drivers still had smiles on their face at 5 o'clock when they went by the end of my driveway and they stood there with a shovel ready for waiting. They're all smiling still after their 12-hour shift. So.
Well, they gotta have some entertainment. So.
Right.
Okay, well, that takes care of my request too, the driveway, but, no, thank you to everybody, not just for this event, for all the events you do. You handle things all year long. You know, the whole team at City Hall, the garage, the cemetery, just all over the place. We do really have an amazing team, and like you all, I'm proud to be a small part of it. Alan, sliding back there. Real sorry to see you're going. We have enjoyed working with you. We've really appreciated everything you brought to the city, and you know, just the addition of the teamwork and the attitude that you brought into the city hall has been incredible. I think you've done some wonderful things in the short time you've been here. If we could find a way to keep you longer, we certainly would, but I'm sure we all wish you well and great success, and I know you'll have great success on this project you're taking on, but we are very deeply sorry to see you leaving us. That's just gonna be more for the rest of the team here to pick up the slack, so I'm sure they'll do their very best and make things continue to work well, so. Thank you. Okay, with that, we'd like to open up the floor to the public, so if you'd like to address the commission, please come to the podium, state your name and address, and you have up to 5 minutes to address the commission.
Speaking of commending everyone, my name is Lori Wilson, I live in St. Louis. Speaking of commending everybody for their hard work, as a child, I've seen a lot of firefighters and go out in the snow and out in the rain, and doing what they had to do 24/7, 7 days a week. As a niece of a firefighter, thank you, Uncle Chuck. But these guys don't get commended for what they do, because some people out here don't care. You know, if there's a house fire, they do their best. They do a lot. And I'm one of them that would commend St. Louis and Elmo Fire Department, because I grew up around these guys. And I wish these guys, I wish people could learn to understand the police, the fire, the ambulance, because they don't get a lot of commend of what they do. I'm one of them. And they do a great job every day, even though that, you know, they save lives. And I just wish them well being out in this weather, because I've seen on TV quite a few times in different counties that a house fire, we're out there fighting the fire and our hoses freeze up. That's not good for the family to lose a house. And I'm one of them that would commend all the firefighters and commend the city workers from Elm and St. Louis to do a well job done. Thank you.
Thank you, Lori. And with that, if I could for a second, Mark. I want to thank you and the Fire Chiefs Association, I think it was, that brought together the speaker. Are you coming to talk about that?
No, but go ahead.
Okay. Well, I neglected to mention, I know Larry was there, and I'm not sure who all else, but a number of the fire department brought in a speaker, and it was just absolutely fascinating. I went to that meeting that morning intending to make an appearance, say hi to everybody, and kind of sneak out the back door, and it was just so fascinating, I stayed for the entire thing, and I'm really grateful that you invited us to it. It was quite a moving experience, and it demonstrated to me how professional our force is. I mean, that was a speaker came from Charleston, South Carolina, a very, very large city, very large fire department, doing things in a very backward manner. And it cost 9 men their lives. And, you know, just because they weren't doing things, they weren't following safety protocols, they weren't following best practices. And when I look at the staff we've got here, you know, you guys are looking for better ways to do things, following safety protocols. You were in 20-degree weather, you know, doing things in a dangerous way, I'm sure. I certainly hope not. You all survived it, but that was a very dangerous day for anybody to be out. So I'm sure you followed your safety protocols, and you know, everybody does. And I'm really grateful for that. It's very important to do those things and to look for safe ways to do things. We all care about that, and we don't want anybody to get hurt. So, you know, thank you for bringing that speaker, and it really did highlight some of those things that shows us how important those things are. So.
We appreciate that. Thank you for those that could attend. I want to stand up here and thank all of you guys for all that you do. From a public safety perspective, we wouldn't be able to do our jobs without you doing yours. You got to think everyone's call to 911 is a true emergency to them, so we wouldn't be able to respond without the roads cleared, without the ice being cleared. So we appreciate that. And you know, we mentioned this now with a polar vortex going through. It's no different in the summer when you're there helping us with the Island Festival, when you're helping us with everything else. So it's truly a year-round thing that we're grateful for. So thank you for that. I hope that continues and grows. Also, to Bill, as a citizen of Elma, I had a water issue the other day. I mentioned it to Alan first and then Bill. He gets right on his phone, takes care of it just like that. So as a citizen of Elma, a resident, I thank you for that. So it's all the way around. So we wouldn't be able to do ours. I mean, when the snow comes, I get to work. The steps are all shoveled off, salt's out. You probably can see that on the floors through here. So thank you for everything. I just want to mention that. Thanks.
Very nice. Thank you, Mark. Rebuttal? You guys are all here. Anybody else care to speak? With that?
Understand we're gonna have to probably get more salt, so we'll be coming back, but.
Is there more salt?
That's the problem. Yeah, that might be the problem.
It's pretty scarce.
So where it's at.
It's hard to get it from the hardware. You gotta be there when the truck arrives or you're not gonna get it. All right.
Our governor did take care of the damn roads. The potholes are gone.
I'm not sure that's what we want. I guess
now.
Yeah. All right. With that, we'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Okay, we have a motion support, right? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion is carried. Thank you all very much. Have a safe drive home. And thanks again for all your work. We really do appreciate it.
No,